This morning I want to talk about ahimsa. Ahimsa it's a Pali word for non-harm. It's such an important word in the practice. In fact, you could say that the whole of the practice is based upon that foundation of ahimsa. Another way to think about it is that it's about being in right relationship with ourselves and with other people. Because if I'm unkind, or if I'm cruel, if I'm harsh, and I am careless and hurt someone, I suffer. I hurt them, but I also suffer. I feel bad, I regret, and my heart-mind is not at ease. And that's what we're learning, is we're actually learning to put our heart-minds at ease in the practice. And so often when we talk about ahimsa, we talk about it with regard to how we treat other people. We don't necessarily think about how we treat ourselves in the privacy of our own minds and hearts. There's a Gestalt therapist, Mariah Fenton Gladys, and she would ask her patients this question: if you whispered everything you said to yourself into my ear today, would I have a good day? If you whispered everything you said to yourself today into my ear, would I have a good day? I think that's such a great question. Gets right to the heart of the matter. Because most of us have an inner critic, a pretty harsh inner voice, and it's like a running commentary in the back of our mind, like a drone. And so because of that, it makes it very hard to see. It's so familiar. Or it's so familiar, it's just out of habit, we let it roll and do its thing. But by doing that, that voice grows stronger. And it comes more easily and more quickly. For me, given my family of origin and given my Catholic background, I internalized the habits of judging myself and of feeling guilty. Feeling guilty for having a bad thought, feeling guilty for making a mistake, feeling guilty for not being more selfless, more generous, more aware, more perfect. I tried to be a good girl, and I fell down. We all do. And when I internalized, or when I identified with the judger, I felt righteous in my view. I felt like it was the right assessment. But then at some point or another, I would sink into the feeling of guilt and shame and worry about what I had done. So there was no peace of mind there, none. Any mistake I made, I punished myself. I would review it in my mind, I would obsess about it, somehow thinking that that would lead me to some good place, some better place. Never did. It never did. There was no compassion, there was no forgiveness, there was no ability to just let myself be the perfectly imperfect being that I was and let myself make mistakes and learn from them. Not really. And then when I began practicing in meditation, in the quiet of the practice, all of this stuff would come forward, like it would get louder. And at first I thought I was, oh my gosh, I'm doing it wrong. This isn't right for me. Something's amiss here. But then I came to really understand that it was doing exactly what it was supposed to be doing. It was bringing forward what was hard to see. Because meditation is like a window into your mind, and you get a chance to see your mind from a different perspective. And we then get a chance to see what the mind is doing, like when it's saying bad things to us about ourselves. And we want to see that Because if we don't see that, then we are at its mercy. We have no choice. And we cannot sort of intervene and make a different choice. We also want to, in meditation, to feel it, like to feel the sting, the ouch of it. Because this is actually how the heart mind learns. Like we want to land there and we want to learn from that feeling, how do I hold this? Because this is what's really present. If I don't see it and if I don't feel it, then I am more likely to just let it keep doing what it's always doing. And that is why I want to come to see it more clearly. That negative self-talk, the way in which I harm myself. So I guess that's what I would love for us to do today, would be to practice training attention to notice that inner critic, however it appears for you. And when you notice it, to see if you can begin to find a way to interrupt it. The way I interrupt it is just by naming it, critic or judger, right? Or worry, guilt, whatever it might be. I'll just like one word name it so I know what I'm looking at. And then I'll just come back in and smooth it out and soothe it out. And I watch over that as if I were watching over a child who was upset, just had an argument with a friend, right? You'd soothe the child. Well, we want to do that with ourselves. Notice the inner critic, name it, come back in and smooth it out. That is ahimsa in action. That is compassion in action, coming back in and smoothing it out.